God is good all the time. Just got done watching Ramirez versus Pedraza. Before I get into the actual fight and what I thought about it, we got to talk about ESPN and Top Rank and these cards. ESPN and Top Rank are doing an awful job with the flow of these cards. I mean, I fell asleep sometime during the ring walks last night and had to watch it this morning because these guys didn't lay leather on each other until midnight my time, Central Time. So you're talking about 1 a.m. Eastern. If you want more people to tune into a main event, man, you got to get some flow to these cards. You got to get the main event on earlier in the night. We shouldn't have to sit through Mark Kriegel waxing poetically between every single fight. The great thing about the UFC and what they do is once you have a post-fight interview from a fight, I mean, you have a couple minutes and then you have ring walks for the next fight. There's a flow to their cards, and ESPN and Top Rank do not have that. This card last night lasted 6.5 hours. We shouldn't have to listen to Mark Kriegel between every single fight. Look, we get it. Every single fighter in the world has a tough and inspiring story. They're fighters. So naturally, they have a tough and inspiring story. We get it. But we don't want to hear it. On a Friday and Saturday night, we want to tune in after a tough work week and watch fights, watch guys lay leather on each other. And we didn't get to watch Ramirez and Pedraza lay leather on each other till midnight my time, which is inexcusable. If you want to have Mark Kriegel talk about these fighters' story, give him his own show and put it on the app and let people tune in to that on their own time. But when it's time for fights, less talking heads, more fights, more action. This is about the fighters, all right? It's not about commentators listening to themselves talk about other fighters. It's about the fighters, and let them give us action and let them talk with their fists, all right? And that's what we're interested in. But as far as the fight, much like I expected and many people expected, if you watch my quick prediction preview video, I expected a close but comfortable decision for Ramirez, and I think that's what we got. I had it 116, 112 as well. I think both fighters did a great job of executing their game plan and then making adjustments as the fight went on. Pedraza showed adjustments to Ramirez coming out strong and throwing a lot of punches early. He made some adjustments in the middle rounds, and then Ramirez made adjustments to those adjustments. Instead of jumping in, much like Josh Taylor did against Catterall, he was working behind the jab in order to get in and was working smart and showing smart pressure fighting. And much like I expected coming in, and I talked about in the quick preview, the story of the day was going to be ultimately Ramirez being the effective aggressor, Ramirez being the ring general, and not showing more than Pedraza's boxing skill. But Pedraza did show a little better than I expected. He found footing at 140. He fits in well at 140. But ultimately, it's about Ramirez and setting himself up nicely after a tough loss last year, coming back against a tough opponent, and now he's gonna likely get a shot at the WBC strap later in the year, probably against Pedraza, after Josh Taylor likely vacates all those belts and moves up to 147. So good for Ramirez coming back strong and setting himself up nicely for the future. And that's good to see. Ramirez is a good story. Ramirez is a guy, an action fighter, an exciting fighter, a sort of a people's champ type fighter. And it's good to see the nice guys win sometimes and come back nice after a setback last year. And I wish Ramirez well, and I think he will get himself a nice shot later in the year. Let me know what y'all thought about the fight. Peace. God bless.